The costumes have been worn, the cage has been lifted. As this Halloween season comes to a close, we have been to hell and back, and we welcome you all to the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast right here on Fox Sports. Let's get into it. We are at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. Hit up the old iTunes, write a 5-star rating and a review. We got a jam-packed show once again, a jam-packed week as always for you on Fox Sports. So let's introduce everybody. I'm Jonny Loquasto. Find me on the Twitter at jquasto. The lady next to me wearing the sweet CM Punk t-shirt and her sock boots is what I call them. Is that what they are? They're sock boots.
They're boots with socks.
Well, they're high socks, and they're pretty cool. Anyway, she's a host here on Fox Sports. Find her on Twitter at Carrlyn Bathe. She's Carrlyn Bathe.
She knows how to host and she knows how to skate. She's your friend and our friend. It's Carrlyn Bathe.
They're just regular boots, people, and I'm wearing socks underneath. Don't get it twisted.
And I'm impressed. Speaking of impressive, the man to the right of her wearing the brand new, hot off the presses James Ellsworth t-shirt. He's the host of Curtain Jerks. Find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks because he's Scotty Narver.
Curtain Jerk Compadre, he's always there to save the day. Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver.
Shout out to one of my favorite WCW pay-per-views, Sock Boots and Jam. That was just one of the best.
That was 90s?
Yeah, all 90s.
All the 90s.
Yeah, John Tenta main evented all of them.
As he should have.
As he should have.
When you're going to have sock boots and jams,
yeah,
you need to have John Tenta headline those.
Yeah, look out, Vader.
Coming to us from Washington, D.C., he's the host of Dishing on Movies and a writer for Marriott. Find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale, because he be Dale Rutledge.
He got that mad funky hair, plus he travels everywhere. He always wears a vest, so you rockin' with the best. The vest is business, he's best for business.
You win!
That's Dale Rutledge.
It's good to have you back, my friend.
How's it going, y'all? What am I wearing, Johnny? You have any compliments on what I'm wearing?
If I had to guess, it's probably some Funko Pop flavored shirt with maybe a vest. I'm going to say your hair is down this evening. Am I correct at all?
Yeah, all those things, right?
See? I know things.
I would have thought Funko Pop flavored hair.
That's very true.
I also have been with you for over a couple hours now, Scotty, and I did not realize you were wearing a James Ellsworth t-shirt.
No one knows that Clark Kent is Superman.
That's true.
Just got it hidden underneath.
And you give a really good James Ellsworth face, too. Yep, there it is. Yep. Okay, guys, pretty big week. Hell in a Cell has passed, and we just get right into it. So Sasha and Charlotte, with a lot of speculation, who was going to main event, who was going to be the final match, while the women did close out the show. So, question is, was this your match of the night from the entire pay-per-view?
Ooh, you're asking a big question. But I got what I asked for. Okay. I wanted this. I really wanted this to happen. I wanted them to close the show. It was the match of the night. It was the first. How could it not be match of the night?
Well, because there were some other good matches on the show.
There were some other good matches, sure.
I mean, I'll give Reigns and Rusev tons of credit. They did 30 minutes, and it was a really entertaining match. And obviously, KO, Jericho, and Rollins put on quite a show.
It was a great start, Rusev and Reigns, I thought. That was a great start to the show. But I got what I asked for. I wanted them to headline. I wanted them to go last, and they did.
Scotty.
I love the match. It was great. But second place, silver, is what I give it. Because, man, I love that Owens-Rollins match so much. That was so good. But this was very good as well. It just had that match before it that raised the bar.
What did you like about it? Because obviously Mick Foley gave it a lot of criticism on Raw, saying no one's going to remember 18 years from now the fact that Jericho, you came down and locked yourself in a cage and helped Kevin Owens cheat. Is that why you enjoyed that match?
Mick, don't tell me what I'll remember. I love you, Mick, but let's not talk about memories here.
Well,
that spot when Owens put the table at a vertical angle,
boy.
That was something I had not seen before, and I was just really intrigued. And Owens talking trash the whole match, Jericho sneaking in. It had a lot of fun, unique memories attached to it.
And if there's a perfect way to crash through two tables with one on a vertical angle, Owens found out a way to do that.
Yeah, you threw a fat guy through it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
breaks every time.
Dale, what you think?
They could have used a couple more fat guys in the Sasha Charlotte match, I suppose, for that final resistant table. But I think it has to go to the women's match. Like Carrlyn is saying, like it's something that we wanted, and it actually happened, and they did an awesome job. There was a lot of hype and a lot of pressure that they had to live up to. And I think these ladies nailed it. They, got a little chatty in there, maybe calling the spots a little hard or a little confusion. I'm not sure, but it was a long drawn out match that had lots of bumps, but still had a good storytelling to it.
A lot of cringeworthy moments. I also have to go with the women, of course. Very, very proud of both of them for being in that match, and obviously it was great to see them headline the show. But that brings me to my next question here. Sasha Banks scares the holy hell out of me every time she's in the ring. Is the way she's working, and I give her credit for being fearless, but is the way she's working...
That's Nikki Bella. That's wrong.
That's another fearless person. Good point. Is she shortening her career? And this is maybe the nerdy PT in me talking, but like when she does the suicide dive, she almost takes her head off every single time.
Yeah, she's going to be Bailey's wacky inflatable arm friend real soon here without a spine. She's just going to be a pile of mush, and they're going to have to blow her up with air, and she gets to be with Bailey forever. So that's fun.
I mean, I know it's hard to keep up with Charlotte because Charlotte is genetically superior to most people. I mean, just her body frame, her strength, her gymnastics background, she can do other things that people can't. And I have a hard time watching Sasha in these matches. I mean, there are so many moments just in the Hell in a Cell alone that had you frightened.
Charlotte does have a little bit more cushion on her, but I'm no doctor. But Sasha wrestles with reckless abandon. And think about another wrestler that has done that and his career has ended and he is now on SmackDown, not as a wrestling figure. Daniel Bryan.
And there are many others. He's not just
many others, but that's someone who I can think of at this moment that is very recent to have, he should still be wrestling. I don't want to see that happen to Sasha.
Right.
She should tone it down just a tiny bit. I wonder if they gave Charlotte the title again to then give Sasha a break and maybe rehabilitate some of these lingering injuries that we all know that she's had, that she's been vocal about.
Yeah, and you could tell a story without doing these death-defying spots. Dale, what do you think?
I appreciate both of your mother bird instincts coming into play here, but this is wrestling. Like, they signed up for this, and they know their bodies better than we do as observers, for sure. Of course, I don't want to see her put on the shelf any earlier than she has to be, but she's going out and doing what she feels like people want to see, and I love watching her wrestle. So, yeah, it looks like it hurts. That's what I like about it. And if that actually is causing her long-term damage, I really am not one to go in and say anything about it except that it was a great show, and I hope that she can wrestle forever.
If I have one request, I could just say cut out the suicide dives. Enough people already do them, and those seem to be the move. She's always almost hurting herself on those suicide dives. I'd say cut them out because you don't need them.
And you can change the way that you do a move to make it benefit your body. Think about Nikki Bella's finisher. She had to alter it just a little bit because of her neck injury that she had. It was wearing on her, and look what happened. And so Sasha could probably still do those crazy moves, but just alter them a little bit.
And she looks great. And also, so while we're talking about women in the main event, big shout out, Sexy Star was also in the main event of Lucha Underground this week in an intergender match. And Brandy Rhodes teamed up with her husband Cody on Impact, also in the main event this week. So how about that for women in the main event?
Wow. Women are taking over.
That's right. Very, very happy.
What's going to be left for us guys?
Well, how about Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell with Jericho also being involved?
You just made the list.
Why did I make the list? What did I do?
Maybe we'll get to it, Scotty.
All right, fair enough.
All right. So is Jericho outshining Kevin Owens? Because he comes down, he finds a way to lock himself in the cage after, of course, KO used a fire extinguisher, which was very clever. And on Raw, it just seems like the friendship is stronger than ever. But at the same time, Jericho just continues to just be amazing and just step it up a notch. And is he outshining Kevin Owens, Dale?
I mean, that's my concern for sure. I feel like Jericho really brings it and has such an established character. Kevin Owens is kind of playing second fiddle, and he's the damn champion. Like, why is Jericho leading the conversation and Owens is basically just the yes man? I appreciate the humor style, and I think it's good to get the rub from Jericho and to have a buddy for him there to help him through, I don't know, getting over with the crowd more. But Owens was already pretty over, but I don't know. There's something about it that does feel like Jericho, in a way, is a bit of a crutch and is also making Owens look less of a character than what Jericho has established.
Guys, we love the two of them together.
I do too.
We can't criticize this. This is another thing that we ask for that we love. Plus,
look,
Jericho is not going to be around forever. We've got to take him when we can get him. Mad Dad's going to be gone soon. You know what I mean? He can't.
Cranky Pops.
Cranky Pops. Yeah. He is not staying forever.
You stupid idiot.
I'm going to take all the Jericho and Owens that I can get. It's brilliant television. He's freaking hilarious. It does not make Owens look like any less of a champion to me. And I know how temporary it is. It's not going to last forever, so I want to see it until it's not there anymore.
You know, I understand Dale's point, but I see it as a balance. I see the two styles. I see the silent fighter, brooding type, and I see the crazy, loud, verbose rock star. They bring a great balance to one another, and Jericho's the guy that inevitably people have that history with. They love him. They're going to cheer for him. They want to be on the list. They want to hear who's on the list, and Owens is hated in the juxtaposition. If this ends, and I hope it doesn't, Jericho's going to be the one who's cheered. Owens is going to be the one continued hatred. And I think to play into that is what he's doing. I think he's doing it smart to not try and outshine Jericho. He's just there lingering and doing, I think, the right amount.
It's like in any great relationship, you want to make each other better, and that's what I see them doing. And what you're saying there is perfect. Jericho is subtly getting well, maybe not subtly, but he's really getting over with the crowd to where eventually Kevin Owens will do something to turn on Jericho, and then they'll probably have a great feud. We can only hope, because it would be phenomenal. And then you're right, everyone's going to cheer for Jericho, and Kevin Owens is going to be the monster heel that everyone in WWE wants him to be. So it's really fun to watch. And my favorite line on Raw, Jinx, buy me a Coke, when they're talking about the Canadian title.
Yeah, because if Kevin Owens gets any bigger and broader, you know, matching that energy, he'll turn into Funkasaurus #2. We don't want that.
We don't need that. All right, Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, it's happening at Survivor Series, so we finally got some in-ring action of Goldberg this week. He hit the jackhammer on Rusev, and then a spear to Paul Heyman. What?
You're pissing me off.
And that was before the spear. But here's the thing. Let's talk about this honestly. Is Goldberg, at almost 50 years old, ready to go into a ring with Brock Lesnar?
Absolutely not. Am I ready to run a 5K tomorrow? Hell no.
But I'd like to see it.
Hell no, you
I'd
wouldn't.
like to see it.
No, it would be awful. Oh my God. But no.
More like a 5 can't.
Yeah, 5 can't. That's for sure.
Yeah, Dale.
Woo.
You could run a 3 can't, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. That's just awful. That's not happening. He is definitely not ready. He was showing a little bit of ring rust in that small spot that he did.
I mean,
he stumbled.
I'm not going to criticize him.
We don't have to criticize him, but he did stumble.
But
he had one
jackhammered Rusev.
But he had
I stumbled on the way to my chair.
Guys, he had one job. He had one job to do.
Which was?
The jackhammer.
Yeah, and he did it to Rusev.
But before that, he had to fall down just a little bit.
Okay, but if I saw Rusev in front of me, I might run away.
Yeah, but if Brock Lesnar's got one job to do, if he's got one F5 he's got to give, he's not falling down to his knees first and then throwing an F5 without getting pure scrutiny. And they did some very clever editing, because in the Hulu version, they took that part out. In the highlights they posted on YouTube, they took that part out. They did still have it, however, in the tweet that they have, that he stumbled a little bit. So they're just trying to hide that maybe he's not ready. But I don't think he's ready at all. Goldberg doesn't think he's ready. He gave a statement saying that, I'm not training for, 20 matches. It's just one match. So I don't have to, do the
or an
all this
execution.
stuff. So I'm nervous, but he's going to make it great. Just might stumble a little bit.
All right, nervous, but I say Goldberg is ready. Is he ready for Brock Lesnar? No. But no one is.
Yeah.
No one's ready for Brock Lesnar. There is not one person, with the exception of maybe John Cena, because he's been in there so much and he's such a veteran, and there's no one.
And Cena knew. Are we talking about at SummerSlam when he got destroyed?
I just say, in general, like, someone right now that's ready for Lesnar. When we had talked to Sami Zayn at SummerSlam, he said he wanted a shot at Lesnar. He's not ready for him. No one is. The guy is uncanny. He is unlike anything else, and he works a style that you cannot prepare for in this day and age of wrestling.
Right, which brings up, the next question. This is Brock Lesnar taking on Goldberg. I don't think this is going to be a very pretty match. So what kind of expectations do we have for these two, Dale?
I get nervous going into any Brock Lesnar match, to be honest with you. So throw in a guy who hasn't wrestled for 12 years, and who knows? I hope they make it a no DQ or a falls count anywhere situation, so that way we can have some mayhem that might look good and not have to rely on too many.
They could make it a first blood match.
Moves.
They could make it a first blood match and it'd be over in 27 seconds.
His head was bleeding last night because he shaved right before he went out. He bicked his head.
Really? That's how you win.
I saw that on his head. Yeah.
That's Brock Lesnar can shave his head before the match, and that's how he wins the first blood match.
Boom.
But I mean, I don't know if I don't know. My expectations are high, and the fact that he's coming back, and they're making this to be a main event. So I mean, I expect something. Does it have to be really well executed wrestling moves? No, not really. It just needs to be entertaining, and I feel that regardless of how ring rusted he might be, I feel like these two can at least make this interesting.
Well, you say main event. Do you think it's going to close out Survivor Series? I say no way.
At this point, that's the one that they're billing. That's the one that they're, that match is set. They've been showcasing that. That is the show right now. I think this match, there are high expectations for me as well. These are two bruisers, and for a company that revises their own history all the time, I'm glad that the performers get to do it this time instead. They get to tell the better match than what they had at WrestleMania 20. I look at it like this could be the match that was, I'm going to get it wrong, WrestleMania 28 or 29, Triple H and The Undertaker the second time. It was just power moves. That's all it was. There weren't transitions. There weren't rest holds. There weren't anything like that. Spine busters, huge slams, pedigrees. That's what this should be, to play to their strengths, because Goldberg, while he may have ring rust, he's definitely been lifting the whole time, and he can lift
He
Lesnar.
looks great, but what you're explaining sounds to me like blood in a PG era between these two. I mean, how do you not have blood in this match?
There wasn't blood in that other match that I'm talking about. It was just roughhousing.
Mm-hmm. It's certainly not going to go 30 minutes. We can guarantee that.
Goldberg walks from a long way inside the arena.
A while, I know, but I still don't think this closes out Survivor Series. I think you have to have the 5-on-5. It's a special attraction match.
Icon versus icon. Come on.
I know. Yeah. All right. Well, while we're talking about fantasy warfare, AJ Styles tweeted a fan-made poster featuring him facing off against Shawn Michaels. So obviously, I think anyone would be excited to see this match. Shawn Michaels is still in incredible shape at 51 years old. But these fantasy matches, they always seem to continue at major WWE pay-per-views. Will they ever stop? Like, do we feel like there's always going to be a need for these fantasy matches to bring in, say, the casual fan? Or will there ever be a moment where it's just we rely on the current roster to continue to get ratings and sell events?
This is a really sensitive topic, and we're all going to have differing opinions here.
Well, you may. We may not. Who knows?
The three of you might agree with each other, and you might turn against me right now, but I do not think bringing back superstars is necessary. I don't think it's necessary to bring back Goldberg. I don't think it's necessary to bring back Shawn Michaels. What I do think is necessary is to use the new era and the people that we have wrestling right now to create new memories for the people that are currently watching. Because if we keep bringing back the older guys, we're discrediting the people that are currently wrestling and showing the audience that, oh, well, we know how to get you back in. We'll bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't get me wrong. I love those people, but they're using them in the wrong way. You cannot keep bringing back people and having the main event these big pay-per-views like this. It just isn't right. It's not giving enough credit to the new era.
I have an opinion on that, but I want to toss it out to the rest of the room first. Dale?
I mean, listen, the thought behind it, I'm pretty sure, is have old guys come and get the old watchers back into it, get them on board with the WWE Network, and now you have a new subscriber. Now, I don't mind that as a marketing tool. I mean, Goldberg coming back certainly made a media splash across lots of people who maybe don't cover wrestling. So does it remind you, hey, I used to love wrestling. Hey, I used to love Goldberg. I should check this out. I got to do that by getting the network. Oh, I get this for free for a month, blah. So yes, I feel like that works. But in my opinion, I don't like it when it's somebody like Brock Lesnar, who is such a temporary person here and has been, around for a while now. He doesn't really need a rub from Goldberg. Like, yeah, I get this fantasy warfare spin that they're using for really promoting the video game, but I don't know. I like to see old guys like Shawn Michaels coming back for AJ Styles. Like, that's a dream match that we've never seen before, A. And B, it helps a guy who's newer to the company. Of course, he's not new in the world of wrestling, but if you just got to know AJ Styles via WWE, to have him go against Shawn Michaels would be such an awesome thing to watch. And I would want to be there just for the historic occasion of it. And I would definitely want to see that go down. But Goldberg coming in to face Brock Lesnar, I don't know. It doesn't really do a lot for me. It doesn't necessarily help in the sense that as a fan who watches a product all the time, I don't really think it helps that much, but it does help in the media splash.
But you have to stop somewhere, though, because if you do keep doing that and thinking, oh, well, this will help bring back the older fans, you don't bring back Wayne Gretzky to the Edmonton Oilers to get people to watch Edmonton Oilers NHL hockey games. You hope that they watch for Connor McDavid, the brand new superstar who's killing it in the NHL right now. You don't want to have to rely on anybody coming back and helping make something popular again. Like, I feel like you kind of have to cut people off cold turkey or just put them at a lower spot on the card. Don't advertise it like AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels are gonna be at Royal Rumble. What, you know what I mean?
I see Scotty making his Ellsworth face. He has something to say.
Oh, Scotty.
I totally disagree, Carrlyn. I see what you're saying, but when you bring up hockey is a team sport.
Right.
Wrestling, in large part, is a solo sport. It is also the only sport where we generally get to see the past and the present collide. We didn't ever see Ali and Tyson in boxing. We didn't see the countless sports teams of the past going up against the great teams now in football, baseball, any of that. We don't get to see it because that's reliant on so many players. But these comic book, larger-than-life icon performers, we do get to see these mashups. One of my favorite memories ever is WrestleMania 18 being there live. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. And that came at a time when that seemed absolutely impossible. These things weren't going to happen, and it did. And it was magic, and it was uncanny because it is fantasy. We get to see this fantasy in this art form. And it helps establish the new thing. It is larger than life, and it's cyclical. Wrestling's always going to occur. Yes. So these stars of now, this new era, there will be a time when it's another era, and we're going to want to see that person again. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be great to see Rollins one more time? Like, he looks like he's in great shape and he can do stuff against this new star, and we get to see Rollins one more time.
Toby the Cat.
Yes. Toby finally made it through NXT. It's that, like, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be with now 18, 20 pay-per-views a year, with weekly television. It doesn't end. There always has to be something new and special.
I suppose I'm just worried that this formula might hinder the opportunity of that happening.
It'll hinder gender, but it won't hinder that.
I'm worried that if we're making these superstars, the older superstars, feel like they're more relevant than a Seth Rollins, then how do we get Seth Rollins to be like a Shawn Michaels?
But here's the thing, though. One of the reasons that you bring back, say, a legend who could still get in the ring once a year is to put him in there with someone that you want to be the next star. And a lot of times that legend will put over the person they're up against. So therefore, down the road in the storyline, AJ Styles can say, I beat Shawn Michaels. I beat up John Cena. He can say things like that. And more often than not, that's what happens when a legend battles a current superstar.
That's how our wrestling logic works. That's how WWE wrestling's logic works. But that's not how the casual fan works. They're going to go, who the heck's AJ Styles? So that's what I'm worried about.
But if it gets viewers for that one event, then it's a victory. And then if casual fans want to stick around, great. If they want to go back to doing whatever it is they do, that's fine too. But I love the fact... Go ahead.
What we're not addressing here is that a lot of these older guys isn't really about them. It's about the emotional connection that you have to them. I mean, when we have friends who don't watch or are casual fans, they all have a story, right, about like that one time they watched wrestling. They know The Rock, they know Stone Cold, they know The Undertaker. They might know John Cena, but I mean, other than that, they don't have somebody that was larger than life. A lot of the guys that are there today, I think that they need to work on getting bigger characters. One of my points about Kevin Owens is that he's playing it straight down the line, and it's not something that I'm enticed by watching Jericho. And I think it's great that Kevin Owens gets to be there for that trip with him, but he's not the guy that's drawing the emotion out of me. And they need to find a way to have these guys come up and be more emotionally involved with the audience. Guys like, I mean, look at how Enzo and Kaz were for their entrance. I mean, that really gets the crowd going. There needs to be more of that kind of thing that at least gets people feeling something and being on their feet.
Well, we all know Kevin Owens has that in him, but, I've said it before and I'll say it again. To me, wrestling's not about wins and losses and titles. It's about moments. Scotty, you talk about The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. That was a moment. Who gives a damn who won the match? You were there for an amazing moment. We talk about when Shawn Michaels faced Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels mouthed, "I'm sorry," before he super kicked him into retirement. Or the moment with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, where he just couldn't find a way to beat The Undertaker, and he basically just said, "All right, I'm sacrificed. You can tombstone me now." Like, moments like that we'll never forget. And that's what the legends offer when they're facing current superstars.
I'm just worried about the current superstars as a whole, because working here at Fox, making the videos that I make, seeing the comments that roll through with people saying things like, "I have no idea who Dean Ambrose is," or "Who the hell is Seth Rollins?" It worries me.
They're our age. They're our generation who haven't evolved as fans.
Well, here's a question that I know that we're going to get to. But how do you make the business grow in their eyes then? How do you make these people come in and become fans without relying on a Shawn Michaels or a Rock or a Stone Cold Steve Austin to come back?
I mean, I think in general, pro wrestling has always been a younger person's business. Even when we were kids, we loved it. And I think it's always been like that. I don't want to say there's a cutoff, but once you reach a certain age, some people gradually drift away. Do you think I'm correct on that?
I mean, I drifted away at a certain point in my teenage years where it lost the appeal as a child, and all the people that I liked were gone. And then over time, the people I liked were back again, and other people were telling me, "Hey, it's really awesome, and again, you got to watch it." But I feel to draw people in, WWE does a great job of addressing a fan's simple ignorance. If they look at something and go, "I don't know who that is," well, the entire catalog of that person is available at their fingertips, either on the web, either on the network. It's there. Someone looks and goes, "I don't know AJ Styles." They have videos that will go, "Here's AJ Styles. Here you go." So you can't make someone care enough if they're just going to go, "I don't know," and throw their hands up.
Yeah,
that's their own punishment of not knowing and not wanting to find out. The magic is there. You just got to crack open that book.
And Dale, do you agree with Scotty and I on this? There's some people who are just nostalgic type people. Like if you live in the same little town your entire life, you're not going to evolve as a person, and you're going to complain about things you don't even have a right to complain. Like, this country's going to hell. It's like, no, you never moved. How do you know if the country sucks? How do you? The wrestling. I hear it all. Wrestling sucks now. How do you know? You're not watching. You're still living on the memories of the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, and you can do that. But don't say wrestling sucks when you don't care to watch it. Am I right on that?
Yeah, no, that does piss me off. I mean, that pisses me off about anything. There's so many people that are opinionated about the idea of something rather than the actuality of it. And wrestling certainly falls into that in many ways, just from the stigma of it being wrestling. It's not cool to watch wrestling in some circles. It's just like, oh, okay, but have you actually watched it? I mean, do you enjoy action or humor?
Yes.
Or, I mean, it addresses so many points of entertainment. Why would you dog it just because it's not cool?
Some people,
but
I don't know. Some people are contrarians. I mean,
no, they're not, Johnny.
There's a few out.
No.
I mean, my favorite radio host, who's on Fox Sports, Colin Cowherd. I've been a fan of him for years. He couldn't hate pro wrestling more, and yet I don't even think he attempts to give it a shot. He just likes to take shots at it every chance he can on his radio show, and it's just, to me, it's like, dude, at least give it a shot. But some people don't want to do that.
I guess that's where my heart's at. I want to bring those people in.
Me too.
Without giving them what they want, which is maybe they want to see Shawn Michaels. I don't want to give you Shawn Michaels. I want you to fall in love with AJ Styles without Shawn Michaels.
Okay, well
that's, you know what I mean?
That's why AJ's there the rest of the year wrestling everybody else that's on the roster.
True.
Well, then you brought up the question earlier. How do we get the business to continue to grow and thrive? I'm sure there's not one clear-cut answer, but what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, kind of to my point earlier, it needs to have more characters. Wrestling in itself is an art form, in my opinion, and I love it and appreciate it. But to get people to grow this business, to get to places that it's not already, people who don't understand maybe wrestling as a fundamental, you need to have more characters in there, like The Rock or people that can just have a really awesome promo in the middle of the ring. And there's really not that many people. I don't know if they need to do more classes on, maybe send everybody to improv class or whatever it is that helps these guys continue to grow. It seems like there's so many newer faces that are there that have nailed it inside of the ropes, but don't really understand how to nail it on the microphone or to be entertaining or funny in different ways. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I just would like more consistency, because then you can have people who don't love wrestling watch it for the characters. And that's a lot of the drama that I feel is missing sometimes.
Characters welcome. Scotty.
There's a lot of things that can be said to this topic, but I really feel from the WWE in large part can be said to this topic, but I really feel from the WWE in large part, it's not very global. In the history of WWE, it's been a lot of white American top stars. And the more global it is, the more international it becomes, the more of a mixing ground it is with different cultures, different styles, all these different guys that could rise to the top. If you're cherry picking and picking the best, and there's more abundance, and the world is watching more, and you're seeing and you're going like, oh my God, there's a guy from Norway, or there's a guy from Australia. There's
a guy from China that just got signed.
Yeah. I was making fake ones, but yeah, sure. That's what I mean, is like pulling more and more internationally to have the uniqueness and have the world drawn in. I think that in the future would make wrestling bigger.
And the Cruiserweight Classic certainly did that. I mean, how many guys from other countries did we have in there? And people loved it. And now we're seeing, Kota Ibushi showing up and guys from other countries and Jack Gallagher and all these people who the mainstream audience maybe not, well, people knew about Ibushi if you're a big wrestling fan, but it's been a wonderful experience, getting those people in from other countries. For me, it's all about cooperation. Wrestling is such a weird business, and I guess entertainment is in general. There's a lot of backstabbing, there's a lot of back talking, there's a lot of just arguing. I would just like to see as much cooperation as possible, especially on the indie scene. If companies can share talent in an agreeable way, it's only going to grow the business. It'll provide more jobs for the wrestlers, and it'll provide more of an outlet for fans to see things. So if we could find a way to get the business to just cooperate and agree on more things, then I think that will help the business thrive a lot more. The question is, will that actually happen?
They can take a page out of most regular sports books. That's what most sports do. They have a minor league team. They've got a team below the minor league team. They're all sharing people and pulling people up and down. And sure, WWE has NXT, but they need to be utilizing Ring of Honor and TNA. Oh. And I feel like that will only help all of those promotions.
True.
What if they borrow someone from Ring of Honor, but then send them back down to Ring of Honor? More eyes will go to Ring of Honor. What if they borrow someone from TNA, send them back down to TNA, more eyes on TNA?
They could take that page, but don't take a page from Alberto Del Rio, or you get stabbed.
That's right. You can't take that page. That's for sure. But no, I mean, they're starting to show signs of that. Good one, Scotty.
That was good.
They're starting to show signs of that with, obviously guys leaving Ring of Honor and other companies for the Cruiserweight Classic, for example. So hopefully it'll continue to grow that way. One thing that I was hoping would not grow is crowds hijacking live shows. We were at NXT Los Angeles over the weekend. It was a great show. It was a packed house, but once again, the crowd decided to take matters into their own hands. They were also doing it at Hell in a Cell. I think this is more of like just a public service announcement. Live audiences, I just wish they would stop being like the new version of the laser pen, where it's just you're doing it just to be heard and seen and the star of the show.
Yeah. But we can ask for people to not do that all they want, and they'll still do it. That's the thing. And we're all a little bit elitist in a way, and I feel like that makes us sound even more elitist if we're like, listen, crowd, we don't want you to do this. So
have fun our way, not your way.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily want to tell people what to do.
No,
but
I will.
But Scotty, I'll leave that up to Scotty.
Cut that shit out.
But I am observant, and I did observe that the crowd did take over a lot of the things that were happening at NXT Los Angeles.
So elaborate, Scotty.
I feel like it's, to your guys' point, we're all performers as well. We've all been on stage, we've all been in front of the camera, and it's tough when an audience is dictating the show. The show is supposed to dictate to the audience, and the audience reacts.
Yes.
And the audience gets involved. It's a unique, wonderful show of wrestling having that interaction, But if you're taking over and you're saying it should be this or asking for the next thing that's not even relevant and just going on and on and on and ignoring the performers and everybody that's put on the show, you're missing out on the show that's being given. That's the tough part. It is very reactive. It is very responsive, but they got it. They have a show ready for you. Enjoy that show.
Yeah, perfect example, NXT Los Angeles, during the Ty Dillinger match, the crowd would chant 10 every single count by the referee, which during his match, I get it. That means you love what Ty Dillinger's doing and you love the whole perfect 10 thing. That's great. But then every match after that for the rest of the night, every time the referee got into a count, it was the crowd going 10 the entire time. It just kind of takes away the stakes of what might be a count out.
So our public service announcement is so you don't always have to be the cool guy. We get it.
Yeah, you're already a wrestling fan. None of us are that cool. So just don't try to be overly cool.
I don't know. I'm pretty cool.
Well,
yeah.
You are. I'm not. You're wearing sock boots.
But yeah, it's just there comes a point when it is just obnoxious and it's unnecessary.
I agree with what you guys are saying. I understand the sentiment. But to me, I get uncomfortable in a quiet crowd. So I would rather there be cheers and leers happening than people not reacting, because then I feel like I have to scream twice as loud if people aren't reacting to things. That fucking belt,
yes,
being introduced at SummerSlam this year and everybody losing their mind about it really got under my skin and was a perfect example of y'all need to shut the fuck up. But usually that was just such a rare occasion of it really not relating to anything or any performer or the performance or anything that it really irked me. But overall, I would rather people at least be into it, because if people get mild and stay mild, then I don't know, then that can also suck the energy out of the thing that you don't like.
Without question, apathy is the worst thing you could ever have at a pro wrestling show. When you're sitting there like, I don't care about this.
We don't want that.
Then everyone's
either.
Screwed.
But we don't want people yelling, "Let's go Bruins" during Bayley and Dana Brooke at Hell in a Cell.
That belt sucks during the Finn Balor Seth Rollins Universal Championship match. Things like that.
Respond.
Yeah. And I don't understand why you would even think to do that in the first place. Like, what made you think of the Bruins during that match? Like, is that basically saying I'm bored? Is
Right.
that why they're
It's
chanting that, or I
disrespectful.
don't understand?
See, yeah, there's two different kinds of annoying crowds, because that sounds like they're being bored and disrespectful. And the 10, it sounds like they're being narcissistic and wanting to become a part of the driving force of what's being dictated in the ring. So there's two different kinds of annoying crowds here that we're kind of talking about.
Cattle prods at wrestling events. Let's start it.
Scotty!
If you're out of line,
Yes.
shocked.
You just made the list.
And you're on the list.
Yeah. Now it's time for the real Shockmaster to show up.
Oh, God, we can only wish. Okay, Survivor Series is rapidly approaching, and after SmackDown, we have a much clearer picture on who is going to be part of the SmackDown brand. Actually, we know almost everyone at this point, even more so than Raw. So Team SmackDown, we're going to have AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, while Raw, we're still awaiting one more person. For the women, we have Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi. Boy, they're all going to get along swimmingly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they have a coach.
And Coach Natalia. Can't beat that. On Raw, we have Charlotte, Bayley, and Nia Jax so far. And as far as tag teams, we have American Alpha, Slater and Rhino, the Hype Bros, and now the Usos for SmackDown. For Team Raw, we can only assume New Day and Sheamus and Cesaro thus far.
I would never assume that. The Headbangers had a chance on SmackDown Live. Didn't get it. They might go back over to Raw and get on there.
They should.
I'm not going to assume nothing.
They should be the 5th team on Raw.
Darn right.
Yeah, he's headbanging right now in case you're not watching this. Oh, God, Scott, be careful. Be careful. Watch. He just hit his head on the microphone.
He looks like he's seizing.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm like Nakamura.
Hey, yo.
He's doing the Nakamura. That's what's happening. So, I don't know. Not much to say about this right now. We just wanted to say those teams.
Yeah, just let you know we're excited.
We're excited for it. We got a couple more weeks to go, and it's going to be interesting to see the inner arguments and such.
Corbin's a
I'm just-
shocker.
Yeah.
Corbin is a shocker. I like this promo on SmackDown, or package, I should say. I'm just happy to see us getting back to the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 situation.
Speaking of survival, as the TNA turns, the court injunction filed by Billy Corgan against Dixie Carter, Scotty, has been
Accepted. Breaking news, exclusive.
No.
TNA wins. Billy
Nope.
Corgan's the new
Nope.
champion of TNA.
Well, maybe in the future. It's another 3-syllable word, almost the opposite of accepted. The injunction was
Deleted.
Yes, it was in a way. So the injunction was basically to give Billy Corgan complete creative control while the lawsuit was going on. The court said, no, that's not quite how it's done. So Dixie's still involved, but Billy even tweeted out he's not really mad about it. He's just going to continue to let things play out. But Mike Bennett had an interesting tweet after this came out. He said, "Welp, back to bad business as usual." Ooh, rib shot. Ribs shot on Dixie.
Are you saying ribs or rim shot?
Shot to the ribs. Shot to the ribs.
Oh, okay. I do.
Rib
it could
with
be
the
either.
B.
Could be either. So
He's shooting hard.
I don't know, gang. We're just
Is
hoping.
this a basketball thing? What are we talking about now? Rim shot?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, we're talking about lawsuits.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. But what did you think was going to happen? Hey, I want control of this company. No.
Yeah, no.
All
Dixie,
right.
She don't give up.
No.
I want to see the judge going, wait, TNA? What? That's what? You called a company TNA and
Just
you want that?
Imagine the judge not knowing what Billy Corgan's been up to since he last listened in 1979.
Yeah.
And then he just walks into a courtroom and has something to do with a wrestling company.
Imagine
and wanting
Billy
control
Corgan
of it.
walking in and talking to the judge.
No, I'm not here to talk about Zwan. I'm not
Excuse
here.
me? Sir, can you speak up?
I know. I just your bailiff was asking me about Zwan, so I didn't want to talk about Zwan. I wanted to talk about TNA.
What is TNA? I don't
Hold on. Let me remove my hood.
Okay, please. Thank you. Wow, you are very pale.
All right, name calling. This is out of order.
I'm the one to say out of order, sir.
You're injuncted.
That's exactly how it might go. Anyways, Pro Wrestling Noah has been sold, Dale. I know you are going to Japan very, very soon, so take it away.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's what the judge said. No, I think they have a new management company that came in and bought Noah. So they're basically like, I don't know, they're kind of the TNA of Japan. Not exactly, but they have been bought, and hopefully this company is coming in. I think it's pronounced SB.
Esatubi, I believe, or something like that.
Japanese IT company. So I don't know what their interest is in wrestling per se, but there's a big article in Tokyo Sports that talks about it. But I think it could be good. I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling it is kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, Johnny, how companies playing together well. New Japan and Noah are a good example of that. They've been kind of supporting Noah for a while now, and there's been a big angle this whole year since G1 tournament actually that they were going to do like a Noah versus New Japan coming up. So who's to see, that could still go down. They could change everything. I'm not exactly sure. I would imagine they would want it to stay business as usual until they sort themselves out. But yeah, everything is about to change over there for Noah.
Not the Mike Bennett version, though.
No.
Not that business
Better
as usual.
business. Better business as usual.
Better business than usual.
Well,
yes.
this sounds like WWE and ECW when, it's famously known now Paul Heyman has revealed that WWE was paying Paul Heyman to keep ECW going, and they had a lot of cross-promotional stuff where they would send WWE guys down there, and ECW was invading at the time. So it sounds very similar to that.
Yeah, it's actually quite similar to that. I mean, I know they wanted them to succeed. I mean, for them, success for wrestling was a success for everyone. I mean, the promotion's main heel factor is Suzuki Gun. Most of those guys are New Japan guys. I mean, there's a lot of people over there that are New Japan, and they are just kind of helping Noah out. So I don't know how all that's going to go. But, I mean, I can only assume that more money being put into it is a good thing. But, TNA didn't necessarily get the best end of that back in the day. So we'll see. TBD.
Yeah, I mean, Noah was struggling a bit financially, so now the company probably came in, bought him at a good price, and now can hopefully rebuild from within and just make it another strong organization over in Japan.
Yeah, I like this Azuki Gun guy. Is that Bart Gunn, but he just changed his name?
He hasn't fought Butterbean yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Butterbean. He's trying to get revenge on Butterbean. I do believe.
That'd be amazing. Also, Dale, I believe you got certain tickets in the mail. Have you not?
Yeah, I'm going to New Japan. What's up?
Yeah.
I got my Wrestle Kingdom 11 tickets.
Man.
This will be my second year running at Wrestle Kingdom, so I'm super duper excited. And just to go, I'm actually going to do the show right after. So basically, they're night after Raw, and it's in a much smaller building, but I've heard that it is pretty awesome and electric in there. So I'm going to go do the whole damn tour.
Who are you wrestling on those shows?
Yeah. You been, Cardi?
They haven't named an opponent yet.
Izuki Gun.
Yeah. How about that?
I was going to wrestle some cotton candy and I don't know, some kind of soybean material.
That sounds like a pre-show match to me.
Dale, can you please bring me back some green tea Kit Kats?
Ooh.
As long as you promise not to eat them on air this time.
I can't promise that.
No, they will be eaten on air. Right now, Carl's got a slice of pizza on top of a notepad, so I'm pretty sure
that is so true.
we're going to have the Kit Kats eaten in studio.
It's my dinner, guys. I've been staring at it this whole time.
Stop eating notepad.
Amazing. And lastly, before we hit the finisher.
Lashley.
No, not Lashley.
Oh.
Lastly,
Oh.
before we hit the finisher, those broken Hardys are at it again, taking hilarious presidential shots at the candidates.
Broken Matt Hardy for President 2016.
And Broken Matt is running for president now, apparently. We finally have someone to vote for.
He deleted the other candidates with the help of Senior Benjamin.
And a taser gun.
Oh, Trick or Delete was an amazing delight. That's
Wasn't it?
wrestling holidays done right with comedy.
You better believe it. And Senor Benjamin's laugh will haunt my dreams forever.
They make mine wonderful.
Well, either way, we differ on that. With that said, it's time for the...
Finish him.
So this month, it's obviously November, the beginning of November, it's time to do...
Best of the month, what they do.
Dale, we're supposed to do it together.
Suck it.
Wow. He
We'll
really
let him have that one.
jumped in on that one. Yes, it's time for the best of the month at What They Do, where we each choose one person in the world of wrestling that we think has just destroyed it in a great way. So with that said, Scotty, I will go to you first, sir.
And October, I can't pick anybody else other than Cody Rhodes. That guy has shown that he is the journeyman that his family has been, that his father, his brother, and he is out there and just killing it wherever he goes and bringing class. When we saw him at Bound for Glory, he was dressed in a suit and shaking hands and just a guy that knows exactly what to do, when to do it. And on camera, he's been class. He's been having killer matches. He's been doing killer promos, and I just love what he's been doing. He is outshining anything that he's done in the past.
Absolute class, too, when he came into the
Yes, he
studio.
was.
Just so impressive.
Great interview and so fun to hang out with.
Yep. Mine is a man who came over to the commentary team when the brand split happened. And he's someone who we're all familiar with. We've heard him do commentary before, but now we see him weekly on Raw. And his name is Corey Graves.
Oh, yes.
He has been killing it, not just this month, but ever since he joined the team permanently. He is phenomenal. The way he just ribs people, he's the best heel commentator that we've got going right now. He's not annoying when you listen to him.
I agree.
And he's just freaking awesome.
He's clever. I mean, you could tell and I've said this many times about Corey Graves, when he got that opportunity when he could no longer wrestle, you could tell he put the time in on NXT every single week. He thought of catchphrases. He thought of great comparisons, and it's really, now he riffs incredibly well with Saxton and Michael Cole, and he's just a joy to listen to on Monday Night Raw.
Not a knock to say that Michael Cole is checked out or anything in that regard, but Corey Graves just brings a new, spicier kind of mentality to that team. Michael Cole is still very, very, very good, but it's just kind of refreshing.
Corey Graves is like the pizza on top of a notepad that is Michael Cole.
Yes!
Wow.
Nailed it.
Dale, can you top that with pizza on a notepad?
And hurry up, because I want to eat my pizza.
Yes.
That's a tall order to fill. But I'm going to say my best of the month of What They Do is the Brian Kendrick. He has got the V back.
Yep.
Because he's got that title. He is feeling pizzazz. I mean, I don't know. I was so into the CWC. I went down there to watch it live, had fun with those guys. Everything about that was special to me. I have been feeling a little weird, underwhelmed. It kind of reminds me of what the Diva division was like in a bit of a way, the way they're treating the cruiserweights on Raw. But nonetheless, the Brian Kendrick is bringing some real fire to it, and I really love his character and how heelish he gets to be, and everything that he's doing on there. He's a reason alone to have that division, and I've just really, really loved ever since he arrived on the Raw scene.
And my favorite thing that Brian Kendrick brings to the WWE...
Psychology. Mind game.
That's right. And now my best of the month at What They Do It is none other than Allie from Impact Wrestling. Look, she's already been a great wrestler for a number of years. She's won multiple titles in the U.S. and Canada. She worked in AAA this year. She was ranked top 10 in the PWI 2015, but she's won the hearts of an often jaded, sometimes unenthusiastic Impact Wrestling audience, which is not easy. Why? Because she could flat out perform. And she's won over the audience without even wrestling, which she can absolutely do. So a perfect example of that, the way she sold during her match this past week against Laurel Van Ness, and that finisher, the way she took that was a thing of beauty. So we can only hope that Impact finds a way to continue tapings and allow her to thrive as a character and performer. Because everyone knows WWE has Bayley as the ultimate underdog. But guess what? People need to know there's another great underdog in Impact Wrestling. She goes by the name of Allie. So she is the best of the month at what they do. And that has been the
Finish him.
So that's it. It's time to all put ourselves over. We're at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. Of course, our new t-shirt is available. ProWrestlingTees.com/Wrestling Compadres. Go get the new era shirt.
Buy.
Get us, go buy. Get us, go buy.
Get up, go buy. Go buy that t-shirt so I can buy more pizza, guys.
That's it. Carlyn, put yourself over.
All of your t-shirt money will go right back into our Compadres Pizza Fund, so I'd highly appreciate it if you did that because I love eating dinner in studio. But you guys can find me at Carrlyn Bathe on literally everything. I'm not hard to find. And you can find Toby on my couch.
Scotty.
You can find me on social media at Curtain Jerks, and you can check out youtube.com/OnYourMarkShow for a new video about the U.S. presidential election. It's just like wrestling, guys. There's a campaign going out there with Trump and Hillary, and if you're confused, how does it relate to wrestling? Well, On Your Mark helps you out. youtube.com/OnYourMarkShow. Got to check that video out.
And there's a guy in there that looks kind of similar to you.
Who are you talking about, Marky Extreme?
I don't know who the other guy is.
The
but he looks kinda
Skeeter.
similar.
Skeeter. You look a lot like Skeeter.
Oh, I wish. That guy's ripped.
Yeah.
Dale.
You can find me at The Walking Dale on Instagram and Twitter. And maybe if you guys buy enough t-shirts, one day I'll get pizza.
That'd be a miracle. All right, you can find me on Twitter at JQuasto. Houston, Texas. I will be in that city this weekend at the Joke Joint Comedy Club. If you're anywhere near Houston, hit me up. I'd love to see you. I'll be at the La Jolla Comedy Store the weekend of November 18th and 19th. Other than that, go to jlocomedy.com. I spruced up the website. I got some cool compadres thing on the homepage.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Otherwise, we love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Keep chasing your dreams.